Hello. Learning a language is surprisingly simple. Notice how I said simple, not easy. Kind of easy. It depends. First, you gotta think, how does a baby learn a language? They don't be learning it with fucking flashcards, studying up their vocab for the day. A lot of people don't ever go to school and they grow up and learn to speak their language fluently. And then also, I want you to imagine foreigners who come from overseas. Like, you ever met a Chinese dude who came somewhere in an English-speaking country? Dude never studied it, but somehow he's like fluent, or at least conversationally passing. How does that work? That is active immersion, one, and two, comprehensible input. If you like languages or you like studying languages, you've probably heard of this guy, krashen. He writes books about this. Basically, it's natural language acquisition. So how do you learn literally any language you want as kind of fast as possible? It is as simple as immersing yourself in the language completely. So just literally turn off the subtitles to a movie, in your language, and just watch a bunch of content or movies or shows, or listen to radio. It's kind of like a passive immersion, but just consume a ton of content in the target language. So here's something interesting. A lot of people, when they try to learn a language, they just smash rote memory. They just smash memorization. So they put a bunch of words in Anki, right? Or Anki, or however the fuck you want to say it. And they just memorize everything. Memorize. Here's the problem, is if you memorized every single word in a language's dictionary, you still wouldn't be able to speak it or understand it. How does that work? Well, because if you try listening to a language you haven't heard before, right now, you'll notice you can't tell when a word starts and when it ends. You don't have the ear for it. So in order to actually figure that out, you have to literally just leave your brain, let it simmer in the language, just soak it in the language. And you just do that by literally immersing. You remember earlier I said comprehensible input, right? First of all, what is that? How does it work? Why does it work? Comprehensible input is when your brain understands a message. Okay? I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna make up the language here. Fligorg. Ja, Fligorg is Puppenfaden, right? You're trying to figure out what the word Fligorg means. If I now do this, das Fligorg is Puppenfaden. Right? Kind of sounds like German, but you could probably piece together by me pointing at the fork that Fliborg, or whatever the fuck, means fork. Your brain decodes that both consciously and subconsciously. So your brain's working subconsciously in the background, figuring all this out, while you're not even aware that it's doing that. Okay? The cogs are turning to decipher the language. You're a language learning machine. You just need to give your brain enough input. Where the term comprehensible comes in is because I pointed, it became comprehensible. When I just said Fliborg, whatever, it wasn't comprehensible. But because your brain got the message, boom, Fliborg, connects the dots, that is comprehensible. So most oftentimes your brain subconsciously will be trying to puzzle out and figure out where the words go and what they mean and what context they're supposed to be used in. And they're kept in the back of your mind like coat hangers, right? And then when you finally comprehend a message, when you comprehend what a person's trying to say, your brain takes the meaning and, like a jacket on a coat hanger, it stores that meaning on it. Now you just have it. That's that. So there's that, A. And then B, if you want to get better at speaking a language, you can learn a language fully and become, I want to say, you could get to a 80 to 90, maybe even 95% comprehension, which is great. A bit of a pain in the ass, but great by doing that. But if you want to get really fluent, You just have to force yourself to speak to people in the target language. That's it. And just keep doing it. Practice makes perfect. You learn the best by doing the thing. If you know the 80-20 rule, you'll know two things. One, that only 20% of a language makes up 80% of the spoken dialogue. And two, that only 20% of your work is going to make up 80% of the results. That 20% of the work for language learners, especially like polyglots, is speaking to people in the target language or active immersion. That's it. The Anki and whatnot and rote memorization is great if you're trying to learn a different lexicon or like a different alphabet. If you're trying to learn like Arabic and you need to figure out how to write scribbles, different story. Same with like Japanese, Chinese, whatever it is. But otherwise, in terms of actually speaking, it's mostly subconscious. So just intently focus in and meditate, like really let your brain, let your subconscious go to work and pay attention, like actively pay attention when you watch things in the target language, and you'll just eventually pick it up. That's it. Thanks. See ya.